So, good morning. It is so important that somehow we get to the real conversation of what we have control over as individuals and who we are as American citizens. Just as an American citizen, it really doesn't matter what state, what town, what county you live in. What matters is, do you understand who you are? What matters is, do you know what we're talking about when we talk about public services, when we talk about America as a nation that we all pay taxes in, and as a city that we live in? City, town, state, community, it really doesn't matter. If you are born in America, then you are an American. But what is your obligation? And how do they see you? From town to town, from city to city, in America, we need to question the American way, as so many people have never, ever even participated in the process, what they would call oversight, accountability. The reality is, it's just us individually. And what are you doing? And I can honestly say, where the work is happening, you can measure the benefit. And I can honestly say, where the work is not happening, there is no benefit. And the reality is that we are truly only the people that we believe we are. Truly only the people who we can accept the knowledge of, engagement and participation, and how outcomes are measured across this nation. And then look at the cities, states, and towns, and then ask yourself why in America so few African Americans are benefiting, and why in cities, towns, and states where African Americans are most popular that they are seen as the worst, and why it's just real. Why do local people have access to entertainers and sports figures in the public when there should be a buffer zone, as there is no buffer zone? And in America, it's just you. And understand when I say it is just you, it is only you. Because you live in your secluded vessel. It is your vessel, and it is only what you were willing to do through the trials and tribulations of life, that the journey that you're on, that you even follow. In America, each and every one of us can be whoever we want to be. Be what you want to be. Do what you want to do, as long as you don't infringe on the rights of others. But when the rights of others are in the hands of those who have not measured the benefit of the outcomes of maintenance for the public usage and the mandatory public outcomes of, what am I saying? Public education, as education is just, it is mandatory under compulsory law from city, town, state, county. And we are in America that is a republic under which it stands, and is standing on just the backs of the poor and the many, because it is so few that actually benefit. And if you got a hookup, the hookup does exist in America. There are people that know people that have opportunity. And then there are people that are waiting for the opportunity to happen. And I got to tell you, if you're one of those that are waiting, well, understand this. You'll be waiting. Truly, you will be waiting. As in America, it is just you. And if you're failing to do what you need to do to save and rescue yourself, don't think that others can help you, because that's not going to happen. In America, we tend to lean to our own understanding. Understanding of what? Understanding of what we have the ability to do, and we do nothing, as we do not have any data. And when my people meet, it's unfortunate, but when they do meet, they're not talking about data. They're talking about themselves. And I just don't have any more time for meetings to meet and greet and talk about your life journey because I don't want to talk about mine. But what I do want to talk about is what I have found. And I have found a trail of failure. When ninth grade boys cannot read and write and comprehend the King's English, it is a problem when they've not been transitioned to a program that would benefit them. And when the public or the state or the county or the city have total control over the resources, yet and still your people cannot seem to get any benefit, it is concerning. As in the America that I know, the reality is it is just you. And it's just how people perceived you. And as I did not live during any time of slavery, but I know my last name comes from the Phillips gas stations in the South. And most black people have the names of their plantation owners that were here subservient to the system of oppression, as we still are subservient to the system of oppression. Do you understand what I'm saying? As compulsory education mandates public education. And most people don't understand the benefit of public education, as we are not measuring the benefit of public education for the resources that are applied to the children in our local communities. And that is so sad, as failure has become the only option. And as the percentage of African American children in the juvenile justice system just denotes failure and fraud. That's what it represents. Because the people who live in the community are not being allowed to benefit from the offer of a mandated public education, and where they can remove the children from you. And whereas the 49% population rate of children in the foster care system, I promise you, we are not paying attention in America, where we must monitor the resources that are applied to our people that live within our communities. More than monitor, share in the conversation as to the outcomes and the maintenance thereof. But when you, as individuals, have been denied that right to speak out, and when someone would pretend that someone gave them the right to take away your right to the freedom of speech and the requirement of citizenship to engage in the society that we live, and then the system would say, hey, don't come telling us. That's not our job. We don't do that kind of investigation when it is historic racism and it is prevalent that the disparity within the community is outrageous. Fraud is a reality when people are so comfortable with what they don't have to offer you as a citizen. And I'm telling you, in America, when you're born an American, you just have rights. Birthrights, they call them. And therefore, that is the ground that I stand under my liberty of freedom of expression, as I know who I am. And you will know that I know what I'm doing, as I am just sharing information of my life journey. And it's not in a book, but it doesn't have to be in a book because most of my people are not there in the books. However, this new media, this new plantation, we will awaken. And when we awaken, we will not go back to sleep this time. Not this time. We've lost too much. As people come here every day across these shores, across our borders, and have more rights than the African American people who live here. As we have sent people off to war and they have come back disabled and maimed and denied services locally, as states' rights have worked profusely to continue to do what it is they do. And what do they do? Except for look out for their own selves. In America, and the America that I know, it is E pluribus unum. Out of many, there's one, but out of one, there will be none. And who will you be in 2022? What are you willing to do? As I don't have any people that are watching right now, I can tag a few and let you understand that in America, we operate based on the time that we have to enrich ourselves and enrich by understanding that the process is the same for public education for all children and all Americans. We have the responsibility to participate in the public oversight of the outcomes or the lack of maintenance for any one particular organization or group or whatever, as we truly are only Americans. And what are you doing as an American citizen, locally, nationally, any kind of way? Because in Sacramento, where they had the highest infant death mortality rate for the past 20 more years, for African American communities, it is the same here. It may be worse, but I don't think they've ever bothered to look because they're not even bothering to look at the graduation rates and the disparity of the children caught up in the willful defiance category, as the offer of faith is just a mere modification of behavior. And it is your parents' choice to choose what they are willing to fight for. But if your parents are trying to make a choice and being denied every avenue, then your rights are being oppressed. And it is time that you stand. So do call your governor and share your concerns, as the local organizations just may be a tad bit corrupt and trying to keep things the way they've always been. But in America, the word is e-privilege. You know, matter many, there's one, but out of one, what can I say? There will be none. And who do you plan on being in 2022? What are you willing to do? As freedom has never been free, we can look back on understanding that our voices have been totally quashed when it comes to the murders of the recent African Americans. Amir Locke was just a mere young African American man that his life was totally taken because of the color of his skin. Simply, why are our law enforcement organizations involved in that kind of oversight and engagement and trying to stop people from making money? Confuses the hell out of me. Everybody has a right to make a living. But if you're not following within the rules, then they can organize crime against you. Are you serious? This is insanity. And we all need to understand that so many people are being denied the right to the basic opportunity of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness simply because they can't read and don't follow the King's English. In America, it is just you. What are you willing to do in 2022? Please like, subscribe, and follow my podcast on Anchor. I just might be dropping in many times today simply because I am just totally frustrated with failed services and the mere understanding that people are pretending that we don't have rights to share our concerns about the failed services. They getting a wake-up call. It's called Wake Up 22. Y'all have a great day.